Joanna Simpson here at Risk Minds Insurance in Barcelona. Joining me now is Alex Duncan, Chief Risk Officer at Just Group. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
And just tell me, how are you enjoying the conference so far?
Oh, it's so nice to be here back in person. I'm seeing so many familiar faces and also meeting some great new people. And then even with the new people I'm meeting, I'm building connections to other people I know, so it's really exciting. And I think this year Risk Minds has really outdone themselves with the agenda. We're in the insurance stream, obviously, and it's a superb agenda covering all the things that really are top of our minds at the moment. So it's excellent.
And you've obviously been doing your speech earlier today. And
Indeed.
Just tell me a bit about what are some of the threats insurers might be facing currently?
Well, if we think about climate change, which is what I was talking about, the obvious threat is what's actually going to happen with the climate and how's that going to manifest itself in physical risks that end up with us paying more claims, or with the people that we invest in or we insure suffering losses. But there are other risks that hide behind that. So if we think about transition, as the world moves from this version of itself to hopefully a version in the future that's sort of less susceptible to climate change, the actions that we take along the way, those are going to create risks as well. And some of those risks will be quite a surprise to us. So we're in the middle of COP27, or the beginning of COP27, and the president of Barbados yesterday was anticipating that there might be something like 1 billion refugees, climate refugees, by 2050. Now, the world's never faced anything like that before, so there's some really big risks that might be coming along. On top of that, if we add what happens to our reputations, if we do the right thing, we can really benefit. But if we do the wrong thing, then our reputations will get tarnished, we might get accused of greenwashing, or in the very worst cases, we may be sued. So litigation risk is sort of the extreme version. And litigation risk, unfortunately, is becoming more and more prevalent against companies as well as against governments. And not only for people not doing stuff to move towards transition, but perversely, people are also being sued for doing things that are moving us towards transition. So that's a very, very difficult space for us to navigate. So in light of that, how must insurers and business models adapt in order to move closer towards and actively contribute to the net zero goal? So I think there are 5 ways that we have to think about our adaptation. The first way is to think about the risk selection, the risk pricing we have, which is our kind of bread and butter insurance. The second opportunity we've got, or the second thing we have to do, is adjust our product set to meet the expectations of clients going forward, and also to make sure that we're avoiding risk where risk is unavoidable. The third space we look at is to look at our investments. So who are we investing in, and what does that mean for the transition? And how do we put our money to work to encourage a transition to a cleaner economy? The fourth space is thinking about our own operations. So we have to make the buildings we work in and our staff resilient to climate change, and also to reduce the carbon intensity of, say, our buildings, our heating, our lighting, and also our commuting and our business travel. And then finally, the last thing is to think about our culture and our communication, because we have to align the whole organization and talk with one story, but we're going to have to talk very transparently so we don't get accused of greenwashing. And we're going to have to make sure that everyone in the organization is going the same way. So when you take all of those 5 things together, the answer to how must we adapt is absolutely totally. Everything has to change in order to be on the front foot of this transition.
And looking ahead to net zero, what opportunities are there for insurers?
So the opportunities come across sort of 3 areas. So first of all, we can think about product opportunities. So are there ways of insuring new technologies? Are there ways of providing customers with new types of insurance that they want? So can I modify my travel insurance policy, for example, to encourage you not to fly? I'll give you travel insurance, but only if you don't get on a plane. And that would help us contribute to the transition, right? The second area is in our investments. So within the investment space, we've got the opportunity to invest in green technology or new technology, such as maybe small-scale nuclear, carbon capture and storage, which will become important. We've also got the ability to disinvest where people are not moving fast enough. But I think the bulk of our opportunity comes in the influence and persuasion we have as the owners or the guardians of vast amounts of money, which we can use to influence how the rest of the world moves in the green economy. And then thirdly, I touched on the beginning about a reputation. And those of us that build good reputations within the climate crisis or within the ESG space can then leverage that. We become more appealing to partners and to employees who want to come and work with companies who are doing the right things. But actually, there are some really tangible examples. So at Just Group, for instance, we've raised money by having our debt certified as being sustainable. And what that means is more investors are interested in investing in us, and that creates demand and it reduces the cost of our debt. So some real opportunities along the way.
Alex Duncan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.